After studying this module, you shall be able to analyze the components of macro and micro environment, know about the basic concept of each of these components, understand the general and the industry environment. Components of macro and micro environment. External environment include all those factors which are external to organization and can affect the organization in favorable or adverse ways. Opportunities and threats are present in an external environment. Thus, organization should carefully scan external environment to identify opportunities and threats. Opportunity is that attractive arena which a particular organization can leverage for its maximum advantage, whereas threat is a challenge to an organization posed by external environment which, if not taken care of, can substantially erode the organization's stand in the market. There are two main components of external environment, that is macro and micro environment. Diagrammatically, it can be shown as follows. External environment is categorized into two, the macro and micro environment. The natural environment, the societal environment, the economical environment, the technological environment, and political and legal environment are the part of macro environment. And the industrial environment is a part of micro environment, such as the market structure, power of suppliers, power of buyers, power of shareholders, and power of other stakeholders. Macro environment consists of those factors which affect all the business directly or indirectly in general manner irrespective of industry, whereas micro environment consists of those factors which are specific to industry. The basic concepts of macro and micro environment. The natural environment under macro environment. Nowadays, environmental issues have become major concern globally. Never-ending human needs have consumed significant part of Earth's resources. Unhalted and ruthless commercial activities have impaired the Earth's ability to sustain future generations. It has been proved now beyond doubts that due to intense exploitation of the earth by human, now there is no pure air to breathe and no pure water to drink. No amount of material wellness can be substitute of pure air and pure water. Global warming, depletion of ozone layer, acid rains, changing climate, reducing biodiversity are some of major environmental concerns. These unexpected natural phenomena are occurring due to exploitation of earth by human. Humans are consuming natural resources at a rate which is far more than regeneration rate. Due to increasing awareness, society in general has understood that environment should be protected not only for present but for future generations also. The concept of sustainability is strengthening among society. Sustainability means meeting the needs of present generation in a manner without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their need. People have started raising voice against exploitation of natural environment. As a consequence, business are under pressure to embrace the concept of sustainability into its decision and operation. People now view business as a part of society that should operate for development of society. Thus now business is not separate from society but an integral component of society which should work as per dictate of society. Business should now adopt sustainable practice and should function so as to contribute towards the objective of sustainability. Societal environment. With increasing awareness in society, expectation of society from the business has undergone a radical change nowadays. Society now considers business as an integral component of society which should function for betterment of society. Hence, expectations of society impose duties on business which they should fulfill. The duties imposed on business through expectations of society are known as corporate social responsibility. Today, the entire gamut of corporate social responsibility has changed, and now it is not limited to personal ethics of owner. Nowadays, business are expected to discharge corporate social responsibility as per dictate of society and not as per their own desire. In India, as per Section 135 of Companies Act 2013, some types of companies have its compulsory spent 2% of their net profit on corporate social responsibility. Besides society expectations, demographic factors are also important. Demographic factors include age distribution of the population, sex ratio, education level, religious and ethnic composition, population growth rate, etc. Economical environment. It's related to global economic environment and macroeconomic variables. Today, various economies are converging in global level. World Trade Organization WTO, with its increasing influence, has nearly converted world into flat platform where almost all countries can compete fairly with no significant regional influence. There is reduction of tariff all around, due to which import and exports of goods and services have increased significantly. Foreign direct investments are occurring freely due to removal of many restrictions by countries that are member of WTO. Similarly, capital markets have become globalized today, and business needs not be dependent upon one country for financing its proposal. There are various macroeconomical variables of business which prospect depends. Raising prices of oil are indicator of boom, whereas declining prices of oil are indicator of recession. Declining interest rate with rise in asset prices are sign of expanding economy, whereas rising interest rate with fall in asset prices are sign of contracting economy. Loose monetary policy would result in inflation, which can eventually weigh out the benefit of declined interest rate. High rate of growth of per capita income is an indicator of boom, whereas low rate of growth of per capita income is an indicator of recession. Currency convertibility is an important factor for multinational concerns because restriction on currency convertibility may affect the multinational concerns to repatriate profits. Hence, there are number of economic variables that can help an organization to determine its prospect in future. Technological environment. Nowadays, technological development is taking place at very fast pace. Technology that was considered best at one time may become useless in very short time. For example, 1G technology, which was considered as radical innovation for wireless communication in year 1980, was soon replaced by 2G technology in the year 1991. Similarly, 2G technology was succeeded by 3G technology in year 2001, and in the year 2008, 4G technology overtook 3G technology. Film based and instant camera technologies, which at once was considered as sophisticated technologies, became redundant due to innovation of digital camera technology. The technological development through process of creative destruction creates new avenues at the cost of existing avenues. Thus, a well established organization may fade away over time due to technological development. Hence, an organization must scan technological developments so as to identify new opportunities or threats. A new technological development may present opportunities, but it also poses significant threats to many well established organizations. If technological development poses significant threat to existing organization, then it must strategically adopt new technology to counter threat. Technological development sometimes is also related to low cost technology. In such cases, an organization could strategically adopt new technology, thereby increasing its overall efficiency. Sometimes it may be reverse way, that the new technology is expensive, but organization has to adopt it compulsorily due to societal or legal pressure. For example, today sustainability issues have become major concerns among organizations, and to cope up with these issues, organizations are adopting expensive green technologies. Political and legal environment. Non-market factors are also very important for organizations. Ideology of elected government is very critical from organization's point of view. Organization has to seriously implement into its functions societal consideration of elected government is of communist ideology. Conversely, organization can work freely in case elected government is of capitalist ideology. Stability of elected government and its policies are very important. If elected government and its politics are unstable, then future becomes risky and uncertain. However, stability of elected government and in policy make future less risky and uncertain. Government approach is monetary, fiscal, foreign and other policies also affect business environment. Legal environment is shaped by existing legal system. If intellectual and property rights are adequately protected, then it would provide more conducive environment for the business. Pollution have hypothesis is one of the outcomes of legal environment. As per pollution haven hypothesis, multinational corporations shift to these countries where law on control of pollution is less stringent. Hence, if laws on control of pollution are not too strong, then it would provide conducive environment for the business. Business and consumer laws also shape up business environment. If business laws are appropriate and as per international norms, then it would ensure enforceability of contracts, thus providing favorable conditions for business. Stringent consumer laws appropriately ensure consumer safety but increase the risk of business. Conversely, lenient consumer laws do not ensure adequate consumer safety but decreases the risk of business. These are some of the more environment variables which shape up general business environment for all business. Global business environment affects all business directly or indirectly, irrespective of industry to which they belong. Microenvironment. Hitherto, we have discussed about macroenvironment or general business environment, which affect all business irrespective of the fact to which industries they belong. However, on the other hand, there exists microenvironment which shapes up the business environment of specific industry. Diagrammatically, it can be shown as follows. The natural environment that affects the societal environment, that affects the economic, technological and political legal environment, which gives a general business environment, and affects the industry specific environment, that is the micro environment. Now, the general and industry environment. An industry is a group of similar organizations that offers goods and services that are either similar or substitute of each other, targeting the consumer with the similar needs. General business environment affect all organizations in general, but on the other hand, industrial environment affect those organizations which are in same industry. The following factors affect the industrial environment. Market structure. Industrial environment is mainly influenced by market structure. Market structure is determined by following factors. Number of existing organizations in an industry. If there are large numbers of firms in an industry, then existing firms can only earn normal profits. However, if there are small number of firms in the market, then it leads to intense competition among existing firms. Those firms which emerge as winners in competition can earn abnormal profits. Number 2, barriers to entry. If there are high barriers to entry, then there will be less risk of entry of new firms in an industry. In such scenario, existing firms can continue to earn abnormal profits. High barriers to entry may exist in form of high initial capital cost, significant economies of scale enjoyed by existing firm, high level of promotion cost for introduction of new product in a market, use of inaccessible and sophisticated technology by existing firms, government policy, etc. Conversely, if there are low barriers to entry, then there will be high risk of new entry, thereby reducing the profit margin of existing firms. Barriers to exit. Barriers to exit exists in the form of high sunk cost, that is, firm after investing high amount of capital in one industry cannot use that capital in another industry. Thus, that capital becomes useless if firms wants to switch over another industry. If sunk costs are high, then it serves both as entry and exit barrier, since high sunk cost will prevent another firms to enter into industry and existing firm to exit industry. Thus, in such a case, there is less risk of new entry, thereby presenting opportunity to existing firm to earn abnormal profits. Number 4, numbers of organizations offering close substitutes. Competition may not come only from same product, but also from substitutes product targeting same needs of consumers. If switching cost, that is, cost associated with switching to substitute product, is low, then there is high risk of rivalry with substitute product. However, if switching cost is high, then it prevents consumer to switch over substitute product, thereby decreasing risk of rivalry with substitute product. Power of suppliers. Suppliers supply materials to firm which through production process are converted into final product by firm The attractiveness of any industry is also affected by power of suppliers. If there are only few number of suppliers in the market, then it increases the power of suppliers, thereby reducing attractiveness of industry. Similarly, if switching cost is high, that is cost associated with change of supplier, then it also increases the power of supplier. If supplier enjoys high power, then they can raise the price of materials or reduce the quality of materials. Conversely, if suppliers do not have high power, then suppliers' ability to raise prices or reduce quality is significantly reduced, thereby making industry more attractive. Power of buyers. Buyers also have significant impact on industry. If buyers are in position to reduce prices or increase quality of product, then their impact on industry is significant. If buyer is large organization and is purchasing in bulk quantities, then it enjoys monopolistic advantage, and as such it can force firm to reduce their prices. Similarly, if buyer has potential to integrate backward, then it would increase buyer power. Low switching cost would also increase the power of buyer. However, on the other hand, if buyers are not powerful, then they cannot bring down the prices of product or increase quality of product, thereby reducing the impact of buyers on industry. Power of shareholders and other stakeholders. Shareholders and other stakeholders such as employees union, leaders, government, local communities also exercise considerable influence on the industry. If local communities are sufficiently aware, then it would force firm to adopt sustainable and socially responsible practices into its operation. A strong trade union can force the firm to raise wages of employees. Strong lenders can impose many restrictions on firm. If shareholders are more socially conscious, then they can force the company to adopt responsible practices into its operation. However, it can work otherwise also, that as if the shareholders are only concerned with their material welfare, then they can force firm to be less responsible towards society. General business environment, which has the market structure and power of supplier, power of buyer and power of shareholders and other stakeholders, which makes collectively the industrial environment. Let us recapitulate. This module discusses the two components of external environment, that is macro environment and micro environment. Macro environment consists of those factors which affect all business in general, whether directly or indirectly, irrespective of the fact in which industrial firm is operating. Microenvironment consists of those factors which are specific to industry. Macroenvironment consists of natural, societal, economical, technological and political legal environment. Natural environment is related to use of natural resources by business and effect of commercial activities on environment. Nowadays, intense exploitation of natural resources has resulted in depletion of natural resources at an alarming rate. Sustainability has become major concern and firms in general are under pressure to adopt sustainable practices into its operation. Societal environment is related to expectation of society from business, and increased awareness of society has forced firms to behave in socially responsible manner. Demographic factors also come under the purview of societal environment. Economical environment is concerned with macroeconomic variables and its impact on future prospect of the firm. Technological environment is related to technological development and its impact on business. Political and legal environment is related to stability of government and its policies and the prevalent legal system. Finally, we discussed industrial environment. The macro environment shapes general business environment which is applicable to each and every firm in any industry. However, industrial environment is shaped by micro environmental factors which are as follows: market structure, power of suppliers, power of buyers, power of shareholders and the other stakeholders.